Hey everyone, my name is Souls Convoy, and today we're taking a look at Newage H61R trimmers, their version of the GoBot Manowar when he appeared in the Transformers universe in one comic, itself a reference to a pre-released deco of Seaspray featured on the Transformers 1984 catalog. So no box for this figure, and I'll explain why later, but just taking a look at him right now from the rip, that head sculpt is gorgeous. I mean, let me bring it forward actually, because you can bring it forward on this toy. I mean, oh my god. I love this head sculpt at this size. Seriously, this is my fingernail. The details are crisp, the paintwork is fantastic, and that metallic light blue pops against the baby blue background, which is crazy, right? Blue on blue is always a tough ask, and they nailed it here. These turbine missiles, which are shaped like missiles, are more reminiscent of the original G1 Seaspray toy from what I remember, and the shape of the rotors, the die-cast rotors, has also been changed. Beautiful sound of that spinning die-cast. Free spinning, by the way. They're changed from Seaspray. They look more like the back of a rocket thruster than an actual turbine would, or actual propellers would. Beautiful red, beautiful yellow details, beautiful metallic dark navy blue to contrast against the baby blue. This is a very attractive deco, and it looks great here. These transparent window pieces look great. Very clean profile from all sides, while having that nice like dynamic Seaspray proportions of being like not exactly squat, but not exactly super athletic either. So getting into the articulation, right? He's pretty articulated for his size. The first thing you can do is you can actually hinge the head down. For looking down, it'll be pretty nice, but you're not going to really use that because of how it breaks the sculpt. But what it allows you to do is to freely manipulate the head ball joint, which can get you a lot up and can also get you full 360 side to side. But doing it with that hinge first allows you to avoid bumping into those turbines, which is great. And then you can obviously tilt these down. That's for transformation. 360 ball joint, you know, gets you everything you need. Universal ball joint. 90 elbow bend is about 85 degrees, unfortunately, not the full 90. And then you get a universal bicep swivel. No wrist swivel because of the design, unfortunately. So kind of a miss there, but they can't really fit anything in there. The ab crunch, right, can go from here and it gets you about this far. Or you can also, if you want to, make him look even portlier by setting his hips further back. If you want to differentiate Seaspray and Manowar, for example. And then the hips, you have a universal, which gets you to 90, gets you 90 back, and it gets you, let me move the arm out of the way actually, 90 out. So full universal range. You have a 90-degree knee bend. You have a thigh swivel, but unfortunately, using the knee bend like drastically minimizes the thigh swivel. You can kind of compensate by using the ball joint, but that's only going to give you like 5 degrees in each direction. And then you have the knee, and then you have this beautiful about, I don't know, the 60-degree pivot, or I guess that's more 45, 50-degree pivot for the ankle. So very well articulated for his tiny size, especially considering how tiny he is. And not really hard to move, toleranced really well, which is extremely good at this scale. So nothing is really a pain or nothing feels too fiddly. He's actually very robust and is an absolute joy to handle. Probably one of my favorite figures in my collection to mess around with. I just showed you his accessories by accident, but he comes with a small pistol, which the handle is left unpainted, which I really like. So no paint shipping, but it might look weird if it's not plugged in all the way, but it does plug in all the way. And the part that sticks out is matching with the navy anyways. And then he has a water effect piece more for the alt mode, but he can like put it on his back like a Dragon Ball effect, I guess, if you want to. Like he's going super Seaspray. Let's do some bot mode size comparisons. So here he is next to a Hasbro Legion class figure, Flak. So this is immediately where you realize like, oh my god, he is tiny, because he is tiny. This is that Newage mini bot scale, and they are small. I'm gonna have to zoom out for this one. He still doesn't fit in the frame, Jesus Christ. There you go. Here's next to one of my previous reviews, the Newage depth charge. And then for a more modern figure that most people might have an idea of how big he is, here he is next to Hasbro's Generation 2 Cybertronian Trooper, a modern deluxe. Despite his diminutive size, this figure is about as posable as that guy, almost. So I think it's a bit funny. But getting those size comparisons out of the way, something I wanted to do with this figure, I wanted to show off his transformation. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to straighten out the arms and then pull those out, and not really just walk you through it, more show off how fast I can do it in both ways. And then pull these around, pop that in, pop that up. Oops, I forgot one part. Bring this down, pop that in so it locks in there. And why am I doing this, you ask, right? Solus, who never does transformations on his channel because he's too slow and his videos are already way too long because he rambles too much about inconsequential things. Well, because I would argue that this figure's transformation, which I'm hoping is very easy to follow along because of how intuitive it is, at least to me, is comes across as, in my opinion, the biggest benefit in its favor. And I'm not like looking over the camera while I do this. I'm looking through the camera. So I'm basically doing this by muscle memory, but I believe I am, slightly off angle, 100% done. That's the transformation. So it's insane, right? It is actually insane how easy and how fun the transformation is. Like, if none of you have tried to transform something on camera, you usually try to like look over the camera. I was looking through it, right? And I had no issues doing this guy in, well, longer than I normally take, but I mean, it's just so easy, man. It is so easy. The hovercraft mode looks great. The paint deco comes through great here, and they even added more baby blue here despite them not having to. These parts end up like concealed entirely in bot mode, but they added more baby blue here so he feels less monotone, which I really appreciate. And then you can plug in the gun here, which is nice and all. And then you can also plug in that water effect. It becomes much more thematically appropriate, or I guess it would be oil in this instance. And you can have him speeding through the water, I guess. He looks great, honestly. One of the best Newage figures ever. I've kept this in alt mode in my pocket while I go on runs and taken him out and transformed him at rest stops, and I've had no issues with paint damage or anything. So this is just a really nice, really robust hovercraft mode, and I like there's also molded detail to resemble some stuff. So it's and the molded detail down here, and a very clean underside and a clean back. You can rotate the head around, but honestly, I don't think that visible detail is much of an issue. I'm gonna go get some things transformed for alt mode comparison and be right back. So here he is for our alt mode scale comparison. As you can see, he's very small even compared to Hasbro's Subreverse Legion class Flak and Newage's G1 toy Mirage. He's very tiny. He is tiny, right? And that's honestly one of the best things about this figure. I think it really encapsulates everything Newage's Minibot scale does well. It's adorable. It's very small. It's very portable and is very robust. It is by far one of the most robust toys, in my opinion. It feels like it's made for a kid to play with, despite its size probably being a safety hazard for a small child. But it feels like a kid's toy in the best way I can describe it. In a lot of ways, 3-piece stuff doesn't. This is basically final thoughts, by the way. I mean, and just like drive home again how much I like that transformation. I'm gonna do it one more time, and this is the easier way, right? I mean, it's just butter, man. Like, you just get those arms out, right? And then all you have to do is remember it's a one-sided thing for this hinge, right? So you have to remember what side it is, pop that out, right? Boom. And then like you think, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. It's just so fast. Like, it is seriously, I don't think there's a single Newage figure that you can transform this fast. And again, I'm looking through the camera, dog. I'm not looking over the camera. I've been doing this all looking through the camera, and like, seriously, like the only step that takes a while is just popping the I was about to be like, oh, this takes a while, and then it like literally just took about a single second. That's like the best thing I can say about this figure, man. It has like that complexity to achieve that toon look, but it doesn't really need that much complexity. So all you're left with is this really stable, really robust figure that transforms super fast and looks great in both modes. And you'd think, well, Solus, that sounds like the perfect figure ever. I'm sure you recommend this to everybody. Wrong. I recommend it to nobody. But like, also you can have the chest in either configuration. Either works. I mean, this looks more like Seaspray, but this might look more unique to Man of War. I don't know, up to you. But I recommend this to nobody because the way to obtain it, right? This figure retails in a 2-pack for $24.99 and or for $49.99, right? Which makes it $24.99 a figure. For $24.99, I say this is great value. It's about 2.5 times the price of a Hasbro core, and it is probably 5 times better. It's smaller, yet more articulated, better painted. The paint is incomparable. The sculpt is incomparable. The actual engineering is incomparable. It's about as this upscale to deluxe class would be probably better than an eventual deluxe class Seaspray. So it's basically a deluxe class figure at 2 inches that isn't fiddly, is robust, and feels like a toy, which is insane. However, you cannot get it for $24.99. The unit price is $24.99. I paid $24 for my copy, but you have to split it with someone else because it comes with Toon Seaspray. And this is a super niche, obscure repaint. Toon Seaspray is a Toon character. They target absolutely opposite demographics of people. The other 2-pack isn't much better, though they're both Shattered Glass characters, but it's still a 2-pack that nobody wants both of. So unless you're someone who has somebody to split it with to take the Toon Seaspray, or you want the Seaspray and don't want this and know someone who wants this, I can't recommend you in good conscience to buy this unless you want both copies. I don't have Seaspray to compare him to or like rate Seaspray on his own, but I'm sure it's the same mold. It's probably a great toy because this mold is fantastic. But again, there's no point in that happening because you're not going to enjoy buying it because you're still paying $49.99 regardless of if you want one or both, unless you split it. Which is why these 2-packs suck, right? I can't recommend this to you. If you want both, then go for it. If you can split it, then go for it. If you're in either of those situations, you need to buy this. It's probably their best figure outside of Michael, honestly. I could say that. Just in terms of being like a pocket toy, nothing in Newage's collection can beat this. I really like it, man. I really like it. So I highly recommend this to you if you can get a copy under $30 of the mold for a single one. Don't buy the 2-pack. If it goes on clearance, buy it immediately and then split it for like $15 a piece. But don't pay more than $24 for a single copy, in my opinion, or $25 for a single copy. $30 at the absolute most. Like I would still say it's worth it at $30 for one. But you're pushing it. But do not fall for the 2-pack garbage. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this review. Again, great toy. Don't buy the 2-pack. But if you do want to buy the 2-pack to split it with someone, you can get it for a great price, $49.99 at Show Z store. Split it 2 ways, $27.50 per person if you split USPS Ground Advantage down the middle. So yeah. But yeah, link in the description. Get it at Show Z. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.